$2 million to parents who lost their 6-year-old son in the Sandy Hook massacre for calling it a hoax.
Every sin ever committed on earth in 10,000 years of history, I did it. The Night Stalker, the Zodiac Killer, I did it. Vietnam War, Hitler. I was actually Hitler. It wasn't Hitler. It was me. I did it. I was in a time machine in Germany. I did all that, okay? I did everything. And that's what I accept. So, you're here with the bad guy. You're here with the villain. Lex Luthor, right now. You're talking to him right now. You're talking to Lex Luthor. How's it feel?
You don't feel like Lex Luthor to me.
I invented cancer.
How?
I just did it. Doesn't matter. I created death. People didn't die before I was born. I created heartburn. I created hemorrhoids. I created hangovers. I created...
Okay, you can't be saying that you created hemorrhoids since you're such a pain in everyone's ass.
I created hair loss. I created acne.
I wish you didn't do that one.
I created bad breath.
So yeah, now that we've accepted that.
I invented Prozac that Adam Lanza was on. I had his mom buy him the AR-15, give it to him. I was there, yeah. Did you know that all money in the universe was created by Sandy Hook? It was a time machine. Before the Rothschilds created fractional reserve banking, before tally sticks, before gold coins, the Roman era, it was the Sandy Hook event that created all money
he's
future
the devil?
forward.
No, he's trying to list off, he's rattling off all of the awful things that have come before him, and he was trying to, like, lean into, like, he's trying to do, like, trying to do something that's like a satirical jab at everyone who is trying to make him seem like he is awful, when there are so many other people and things in his opinion that are so much worse than him, and he is just kind of leaning into this and saying that he is the worst person in the world by, like, associating himself to, like, all of, like, the worst people in history who he has been compared to. Because it's not enough for him to just hold himself accountable for the real pain and suffering that he caused whenever he continued to spout disinformation. And that is not something that is a matter of opinion. You know, it is going to be subjective from his perspective, but a court of law and a preceding judge determined that there was real pain and suffering, emotional distress, to the point that there was enough damages that went beyond the current statutes in compensatory damage, and that it reached the threshold of punitive damages. That's how fucked up Alex Jones's actions were to multiple people. Why, though? Don't get intimidated. Alex Jones kind of seems like the person who would, like, strap a bomb to his chest and fucking, like, press the button. He is clearly unhinged. For real, though, it would be terrifying being in the same room as Alex Jones. That is some intense, uncomfortable energy. I wonder how he felt. Andrew. I wonder, did Andrew speak? Does Andrew ever do, like, follow-up, like, one-on-one, like, testimonials of, like, what he was what he was feeling? Like, does he ever give, like, a perspective, does he ever give an opinion of the interviewers from his perspective, like, after the fact? Andrew Tate? No, this guy, isn't his name Andrew? He was holding back laughter just now. Because that would be pretty cool. If you did, like, an overall, like, vibe. Like a vibe check. I do believe that Alex Jones did create bad acne, though. He created a false fable that millions of his viewers clung onto and acted upon, and literally caused pain and suffering and heartache to already grieving parents, to the point where they had to move multiple times, one even committed suicide. That is what Alex Jones has done with his fame, with his platform, and the fact that he cannot simply hold himself accountable, he can't own up to it, he can't apologize, he can't try to undo the damages that he has done and do better this time around just means that there's like, you know, some people say like nobody's beyond like reproach. Like, is there anything that Alex Jones could do at this point? I think that he is irredeemable. I know that might sound rough. The old drives are causing the issues and corrupting this files and Windows. What are you talking about, Mean Beans? Mean Beans blamed me for not taking care of my computer. You're right. I don't do maintenance on my computer because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't touch this thing. I don't clean it. I don't fuck with it. I don't clean disks. So that is true, actually. That's true. That's true.
Everything is that. Everything.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about like how your attorney did overall?
They said I was guilty beforehand because they couldn't have a real trial because they had 24 minutes out of 10 years of me talking about it. Most of it me saying it happened. It's sick. It's disgusting. I was being sarcastic.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, okay, so my question is Alex Jones clever enough to try to like finagle people into believing what he is saying? But he knows that he's lying, or does he really believe this? Hi, Liana. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. I'm in a better place. I'm in higher spirits because the computer has gone a full. How long have we been streaming? Like 20 minutes. Like a full 20 minutes. Hasn't blown up. It's all the porn and hentai that's in her PC that's fucking it up. 40 minutes. Hey, 40 minutes. There was no porn or hentai. I wish, but no. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. I have like thousands of hours of footage from, sounds boring. I have thousands of hours of footage of video making and content and data, which is very, very heavy. It's very intensive. Yeah, I'm not gonna open the links just in case because we know that it has led to. Hentai is actually good for the soul. I've never seen hentai porn. That might be redundant, but not something I've ever watched. I mean, maybe like snippets, but like I don't know. Yeah. Or like freeze frames.
Earlier, I didn't kill the children. I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. I didn't invent hemorrhoids.
Okay, but can we talk about that real quick? Just maybe like later, like the Jeffrey Dahmer. Like why? I know it's Ryan Murphy, that sick freak. Ryan Murphy did it. American Horror Story guy. Why do we romanticize the most despicable fucking killers in this country? Like white women, please, I am begging you. I am begging you. I am begging you to take all of this fucking this attention that you are giving to true crime and put it into reading up on systemic violence against marginalized people. Like, at this point, there's such a niche for it, I know. Like, the true crime community, like, don't come for me. But, like, at the same time, like, Jeffrey Dahmer was literally the most violent creature who should never, ever be commemorated. Even if it's to be like, hey, remember how awful this guy was? No. Alex is no cap about 50. Which means, like, he probably has, like, a couple more years to go. I truly never understood why people found serial killers so interesting. I think that, in many respects, like, I don't understand, like, I don't know about, like, reading up or, like, learning about a serial killer who has already committed the crimes and he's been caught or they've been caught. I think that, at least, like, this is where I have leaned in and like I've been interested in like true crime, like cold cases that haven't been solved. I think like the mystery behind those cases are kind of appealing, but like people said they had to stop watching because they started feeling sympathy for Dahmer. Yeah, because literally that's the only That's the only way. Exactly. Exactly. I think that speaks to like how white people are still very much okay, because I gotta tell you, I would go out on a limb. I would literally bet every single one of my organs that white people are the ones sympathizing with Jeffrey Dahmer. No one else. No other group. No other group. White women. White women. White women. People used to send Ted Bundy fan letters. Yeah, and fucking what's the Don't forget, it's the last day of September, chat. Oh yeah, it is the last day of September. And I know that I've been squeezing the shit out of you, so we didn't do a subathon. But if you feel so inclined, chat, you can take advantage of the last day of September. You can gift subbies at a discount. Less than 6 hours left. If we ball, we ball. Glad you online. Thank you. My computer chair is making noises. Alkaline Trio was a bit too far for me.
Question things, and they're trying to demonize me to say questioning things is a bad deal.
And elementary school massacre, 26 dead, 27 dead now, 18 kids in Connecticut. When you got small children, this really gets to you. That's why the globalists use children's deaths to go after our guns, because they know it gets to us. So don't ever think the globalists that have hijacked this country wouldn't stage something like this. They
I had an
kill little
Alkaline
kids
Trio album.
all day.
Which one? Good Morning? I feel like that's when Alkaline Trio started to get kind of mainstream. Mr. Big Zoom Guy, thank you. Thank you. I remember, because there was an Alkaline Trio song on the OC, and that's how I knew. You know, I was that bitch in high school. I loved Alkaline Trio and the OC. It's capable. You're capable of doing both of these things at the same time. And I remember thinking, like, what the hell? 2005 Crimson? Okay. It was a good album. God damn, it's a really good album. Well, thank you for the boost train.
every day, and it's not our government, it's the globalist. I really think they're going to try to come after the guns. It's going to start a civil war.
Daddy, thank you.
I clearly believe from the evidence children were really killed in Sandy Hook, and it's a real tragedy. Unfortunately, evidence is beginning to come out. People who've been coached, people who've been given cue cards, people who are behaving like actors.
I dropped Billy off and watched him go around the corner, and he never came back, all because of the guns. Won't you just turn your guns in for my
Emo
son?
overload?
Folks, we've
Alkaline Trio is not even that emo. Oh, okay, so like they do have some emo songs. Like usually the emo songs are sang by the backup vocalist. And not like the lead singer. Oh my god, what's his name? I feel like all of those songs are so... Losses mid? Oh, shut up. Shut up. Thank you, Paul, for gifting a tier 1 subby. So happy. There's a song about Valentine's Day. That is a super duper sad song. Oh my god, what's his name? Lead singer of Alkaline Trio. I never forget lead singers' names. Matt Skiba. There it was. It was on the tip of my tongue and I just hit the phone. Matt Skiba. But, what you mean? He is mid. I was the emo hype train. I was on the emo hype train but wasn't seen. If anything, these Twitch streamers are definitely hard and workers who care about their audiences. That's how far gone I was, chat? You remember questioning Sandy Hook? It was a joke that XQC made about a tier list. I think, anyone can fall down the right-wing hole, anyone. I think that if you give even a little bit of mind, you pay a little bit of mind to like some of the conspiracy theories and you're not in the best place and you're not necessarily of sound mind, then maybe. But also, there's a lot... So, the problem with, like, these right-wingers and what they do, they are so incredibly confident in calling into question things that just should not be called into question. Things that cannot or should not be investigated. Some things, I think, obviously don't have an explanation to them. But also... putting on like a hyper scrutinized lens to review the emotional responses of something that is so incredibly traumatic and shocking and public, and you having to interface with the media for a few days or you know, face possible scrutiny from people like this ass. That means, yeah, you might not even have the room to grieve in the way that you need to. And that is unfortunate that somebody like Alex Jones would exploit that obscurity in the moment that might just be somebody grieving on their own terms. Sandy Hook being in a hoax is easier to accept than the truth for a lot of people, but I don't understand who, you right-wingers, gun nuts? Because that seems like the only people who would have any interest in trying to lean into some conspiracy theory to obfuscate and derail the attention away from the need for gun control. But actually, I gotta give my boy Tom Harton and Jink, they literally pulled me out. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think it's important to kind of, you know, pay tribute to those moments, because I think a lot of leftists who are maybe a little jaded, they might think that there's no use. But there can be really good programs that might be an entry point to get people out of that radicalization that they have found themselves from falling down that right-wing rabbit hole.
Got video of Anderson Cooper with clear blue screen out there.
Nothing can account for what happens to his nose.
I didn't even see
Early
it.
on, I said, well, they had to have killed somebody. I mean, this doesn't make sense. Then parents come out and start laughing and then turn to the camera and cry. No one died in 2012 in Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured. I couldn't believe it at first. I knew they had actors there, clearly, but I thought they killed some real kids. And it just shows how bold they are.
People come up to me in hotels and in grocery stores, and I'll be walking my dog, and they just go, the car will go, "Roar! You son of a bitch, quit, leave those kids alone." And I'll be like,
leave them alone.
I never
Let
talk
them
about it
rest.
in the media. Shut up, you son. And some people have confronted me in front of my wife and children and said, "You son of a bitch, you killed those kids." No one knows who Adam Lanza is. When you ask somebody about Sandy Hook, it's Alex Jones. So
Oh no, you don't like that? You don't like that somebody who has fallen so deeply down the right-wing conspiracy rabbit hole starts to question whether or not you actually did kill those kids? I guess that's what happened whenever you kind of open up Pandora's box to the possibilities that everything that we see on the mainstream media is a lie. What, did Alex Jones not like it or something? Did he think that it was unfair for somebody to come up to him and make those accusations? Imagine how the families of Sandy Hook felt. Like, do they not get it? Can they not put two and two together? Can they not take this moment and reflect upon something that very much is happening to them, that they are very much guilty of doing themselves? Probably not. Also, it is technically Hail Mary territory. Loose train.
I did not kill the children.
23 down.
Do you feel any sense of responsibility for the way the lives of the Sandy Hook
There's
families
Sandy.
were affected?
An emotional day of testimony after 3 family members whose loved ones were murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary School took the stand describing the harassment they endured as a result of Alex Jones' false statements.
People were, accusing me of lying, telling me Ben never lived, telling me that I was going to burn in hell and that I would pay for what I had done.
Hensel testified that after her husband Jeremy committed suicide in 2019, people went to their daughter Avielle's gravesite looking for evidence the family was faking his death.
I'm
I
gonna.
couldn't wrap my head around
Oh my
just
God.
one
Thank you,
more
Rickfoot.
family member being part of this narrative.
You know,
Oh my God,
it's
that's so
an
sad.
industry. It's a business. They got $73 million from Remington. They've sued all these different groups and people. So no, I didn't kill their kids. I already said I was sorry before they ever sued me. And now they've just attached themselves to my name and who I am.
Sandy Hook was a school shooting. It was an elementary school shooting. Like young. It was a preschool. I thought it was like, shit. So yeah. All right, 3,500 recommendations so far. Hey, we made it to level 6. It was like preschool. I mean, it was like it wasn't high school. I think it was an elementary school, and that could include K through like whatever. Like the victims, they're on the screen. Like they're babies.
They can get all the judgments they want against me. I have hardly any money. All those articles you see, it's like made up. Almost all of it's not even true.
You're not doing too good money-wise right now?
I never, like they had a financial expert in my rig trial, and he said InfoWars is worth $130 million, and Alex Jones is worth $270 million. I don't have $2 million in cash.
6-year-old rich white kids
I
in
don't
the
have
country
stocks and
didn't care.
bonds. I don't have all that stuff. So it's like a joke. They can have $1 billion verdicts. It doesn't mean anything.
So they're expecting you to pay $45 million.
It's like $47 million or something like that total.
You think that in time you'll be able to do that?
Oh, no. It's what's ridiculous. Like, and they have 2 more trials coming up in Connecticut and in Texas. Everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna get him. He's like, they've built me up into like I'm this giant creature, like all powerful, like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Yeah. and none of it's real. So it's like, it's funny, actually. It's actually comical. I mean, it's actually hilarious. And then the Sandy Hook families, they already got $73 million from Remington. They're sitting there thinking they're about to get this big payday, and it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to keep the studio open?
Oh, I mean, I could do a show anywhere. I mean, they're not going to show anything now. They could run off some of our employees. Yeah. They could shut down some of our people, which is their big job, to shut down America, get rid of American workers. I mean, that's the part for the course. But I mean, as long as I don't want to quit or they don't put me in prison, they can't stop anything.
Was there a definitive year where big tech really teamed up to deplatform InfoWars?
Yeah, it was 2018, early 2018.
Bay Area tech giants are taking action against a prominent conspiracy theorist.
Twitter gives Alex Jones the boot. Just into CNN, Facebook is purging right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Apple, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube all completely banned InfoWars within 12 hours of each other.
Facebook said, "We have taken it down for glorifying violence and using dehumanizing language to describe people who are transgender, Muslim, and immigrants, which violates our hate speech policies."
They had the heads of big tech said they got together and colluded to shut me down. I knew they had to censor freedom because freedom was so popular. I mean, I knew that was coming, yeah.
How did that affect your audience size?
It didn't let us have, on average, that giant viral spread every day, reaching 20, 30 million
Are we
people.
still plugged in?
It said it was 3-4 million
We're
people
still
that were
plugged in?
hardcore, but then they understood there was censorship, so they
Thank
were
you,
grassroots
DHB
with
Cannon
them
and
out.
Rips with.
So it actually made it more underground and more
More out of
avant-garde,
control.
more black sheep, more rebel.
Thank you, chat, so
and,
much.
More outlaw, and so made it more successful in a way.
What would you do if you had a time machine?
You know, I think even though I got caught in their Sandy Hook trap, and I was covered other people's theories and barely did it, wasn't much of what I did on the on the timeline. I think I'd do it all again. I think this is going to bring us to something bigger. I mean, technically, if I had it all over to do again, I wouldn't have been caught in that trap. But that's not how the universe works. I did these things, and I'm going with the flow of where I'm at. I did it from a good heart, and I think it'll be turned towards good in the end of the day. So I'm not worried about it. And I believe humanity's going to wake up. I believe we're going to win.
What's humanity going to wake up to? Oh no. Okay, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You're gonna have to deal with it. Oh my god. They're literally 6 years old.
All right, so we're in Newtown, Connecticut, where the Sandy Hook elementary school shooting took place around 10 years ago. It's a special week for this town because for the first time ever, Alex Jones is being made to stand trial in Connecticut.
In a Connecticut courtroom just 20 miles from Sandy Hook, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones taking the stand, forced to face his own lies.
So right now we're on our way to go meet up with a trial attorney named Mark Bankston, who represented the Sandy Hook families in the previous defamation case in Texas.
Nobody thinks you killed the kid. Nobody thinks that, Alex. What you did, what you killed, is their ability to get over the death of their children. Look, I'm a parent, and I know my job. My job is to protect my kid. They couldn't be with their kids on December 12th, 2012, right? Like, they couldn't do that. And so when that happened, their job changed. Their job became to protect their kid's legacy. And so every day that this kept going on and they couldn't stop it, these parents are feeling like they're failing their kids over and over and over again. And I put that on Alex Jones more than anybody else in the country.
So, for those who don't know, can you describe the extent of the harassment that was experienced by the Sandy Hook families?
There's no way I could do it just sitting here with you. It's unreal. Initially, it just started with rough contacts. You get people who were emailing them, people would find out their phone number, call them on the phone. But then you had people starting to show up in Newtown and destroy the memorials they had for their kids. They had people showing up at their homes, knocking on their door. They had people going around and talking to their neighbors. And then it just kept escalating as more and more people got caught into the wildness of it. There's Lucy Richards, right, who was a woman who I have to have some level of sympathy with on some way because she's mentally ill. But she got obsessed with all these narratives and about Lenny Posner. She was in Central Florida. And when it got disclosed that that's where Lenny had moved to, and InfoWars put up his Boca Raton mailbox where he picks up his mail.
I've got an article here from a guy, I think was our last caller. He's been getting all kinds of grief from Mr. Posner. Social media shut down due to Sandy Hook false copyrights. What's interesting is they list the address for the Honor Network in Boca Raton, Florida, 908 North Dixie Highway. There is no suite, but it's got 2 different buildings listed that address.
Well, we'll just start investigating that. And I guess I'm going to have to probably go on up to Newtown. I'm going to have to probably go investigate Florida as well.
She decided, okay, that's my call to action. So she started stalking Lenny and Veronique through Central Florida. She would call and leave these messages, and I don't know if you've ever heard them, man, and maybe we'll get a hold of them for you or something just so people can understand what this is. But creepy.
Did you hide your imaginary son in the attic? Are you still fucking him? You fucking Jew bastard? Look behind you. Death is coming to you real soon.
Just this awful, hateful stuff, these slurs and at him and that don't even make any sense. Yeah. I mean, she called him in the N-word and accused him that Noah is still alive and that he's got Noah in the attic and sexually assaults him every night. And even after she was arrested by federal law enforcement and then she was sentenced to federal prison for a short period, part of her conditional release is she cannot access InfoWars. She's just simply not allowed to do that as a condition of her parole. I'm an X-Files kid, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a late 90s conspiracy guy. Man, conspiracy culture used to be fun. It used to not be so malicious and cruel. Area 51, fish-human hybrids, Roswell. I mean, it was kind of fluffy in its own way. Yeah. Like, it didn't really matter at the end of the day what's at Area 51. It was a mystery box we could all have fun with. And there was a time when Alex Jones was hilarious. We just all kind of like watched him when in his early days. But the moment he started commanding, I'll tell you, it goes hand in hand with the damn supplements.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure at Infowars.com. We sell books, videos, t-shirts, high-quality water filters, shortwave radios, cook stoves, survival food of the highest quality. Brain Force sold out in 4 days. Liver Shield sold out in a week. Prostagard sold out in a month. We have the highest quality nutraceuticals out there, bar none.
The government is going to starve you. Buy the prepackaged food. Right? The government has released radiation into the environment by the iodine. You know, we were seeing that basically right after the month of Sandy Hook, his traffic went up darn near 50% from all the coverage he was doing that month of the hoax. So that caused them to double down because they've testified on the record. If we see traffic spikes, we try to emulate that. When Alex Jones said the school wasn't an operating school, when he said paramedics never even entered the building, when he said there are pictures of the children who they say died who are still alive, he didn't believe that shit. I don't believe Alex Jones thinks there's anything fishy about Sandy Hook, but he's going to keep saying it even right now. You know, he's still going to be weird about it.
Why?
It's not a matter of whether you believe it or not. It's a matter of whether you have carved a groove in your personality that the wheel just goes in that rut now. I think it would force a moment of ego he's not ready to confront.
The InfoWars store is like the main revenue source, yeah?
I mean, if I need it to be. I mean, if I need to, I can go to supporters and just get straight donations.
Yeah. So how do you go about doing that?
Just ask them for the money. The jury came in this evening with $4.2 million. I admitted that I followed disinformation, but not on purpose. I apologize to the families. What I did to those families was wrong, but I didn't do it on purpose. We are so broke that if you don't fund us, if you don't buy products at InfoWarsStore.com, we will shut down. So get a t-shirt, get a book, get Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula, get Vitamin Mineral Fusion, get them all at InfoWarsStore.com and keep us on the air.
What do you think he deserves at the end of this road?
To no longer be in public life, right? Like, I don't... People have been like, oh, you're out to destroy Alex Jones. I don't want to destroy him. I don't care. If he wants to work at Safeway or manage a Sprint store, I don't care. I feel the right amount of justice is you should not be able to commercially market yourself as a public figure anymore. Like, you should exit the American stage. That's what I think is the correct result. Or at least that's what I think is the most utilitarian good result. But the money's not even really the question for me. The question is, will this suit be successful at stopping him from being on the national stage? And my worry is, like we said in the courthouses, it won't be, because the cameras will still follow him. Like, he can lose all of his money. He gets out there again on the bullhorn, and he starts building it right back up.
No, I told you I was going to shut it down before they sued me and shit. I'm not happening now.
You were going to shut down InfoWars?
I was going to hand it off to the people. Not now. It's not a labor of love now. It's a labor of war. We ain't shutting shit down.
So the question is, can this cause of action against Jones on behalf of these parents come to represent something bigger Is it a bigger referendum on the false things he's saying? I hope so, man. I hope so.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see me picking my teeth, my enemy's bones.
Yeah, Andrew just casually eating ribs. And I was thinking, like, Andrew could not do, like, a follow-up. Because then, like, he would probably give away, like, his own, like, and that might discourage future interviewees. He really wants to eat people. He does. Like, okay. So, like, you know the violence that people will hold in their heart towards those who have wronged them? That righteous indignation, that like white hot anger that is still really, really unhealthy. It's still incredibly toxic. But at the same time, like, it comes from a place of like desperation for justice. That's what Alex Jones kind of like leans into, but he's like the guilty party. So it's really weird. It's very strange that he can almost get into the character where he is playing a victim, where he thinks that he has been incredibly wronged. And I don't know how you can lie to yourself to that degree. I don't get it. I don't get how you could be so incredibly inundated with your own false sense of reality, but at the same time, need not question how far one is willing to go. I do think that it stems from a place of fear that if people were able to know the real motives and intent behind Alex Jones' actions, he wouldn't have the fan base that he has, or he wouldn't be able to get away with what he is getting away with. And that, I think, is the reason why he is so confident in what he says. Not because he even believes it, because he knows that he cannot let the mask slip. Otherwise, that would be bad for business.